Hey, what's up, guys? It's Kehinde here with another overview of the 6-7 steps. Now, what this overview is about, it's lesson 3, and the title of lesson 3 in the 6-7 steps is Sam Walton's night in a Brazilian jail, stealing from McDonald's, and Michael Jordan's humility. Now, what this lesson is mainly about, it's about humility, right? And sometimes Tai says people really get the word humility wrong, like they don't really know what it means, and he says humility isn't what most people think it is, which is basically kind of depreciating comments saying, oh, I'm not good enough, oh, I'm just a regular guy, or saying I'm humble. Like, humility, that's not humility. Humility has to be put into action, and Tai Lopez talks about people who have put humility into action. Okay, people like Sam Walton and people like Michael Jordan. In the case of Sam Walton was a very, very humble guy. Okay, he definitely practiced humility because he always wanted to learn from other people. Like, he knew he didn't have all the answers, and he always wanted to learn from other people. He always wanted to look at what other people are doing to see if they're doing something better than he is, or if they have some insight that he doesn't know. Okay, and that's true humility in practice. Knowing you don't know everything and looking for answers, looking at other people, looking at what they're doing, and basically seeing, all right, what can I do myself to basically kind of take some of their knowledge and kind of make my own business better, make my own art or art form better, and that's what Tai Lopez basically stresses on, and that's what Sam Walton did, and Tai tells a story of how Sam Walton had these two guys from Brazil visit him for business advice, and guess what? These guys were shocked that when they got there, they came to Sam for business advice, but guess what? He was the one asking them questions. He was the one basically interviewing them, and they were just like, what the hell? Like, we came to ask him all the questions, but he's asking us all the questions. And that's a sign of a humble person. Okay, someone who realizes that they don't know everything. Someone who, even at a billionaire, he was a billionaire at this time when these two Brazilian guys came to ask him for advice. He was a billionaire, okay? And it came time to a point where he actually visited Brazil, and guess what? This man, Sam Walton, he was, and by the way, if you know who Sam Walton is, he is the creator of Walmart, okay? If you don't know, just to put that in. But when Sam Walton visited Brazil with these two men, guess what? He was in the Brazilian stores studying the stores. He was studying the aisles. He was studying how they did things, how they arrange stuff. And guess what? They put him in jail, okay? And for this, because obviously they thought he was crazy. And when the guys came, the two Brazilian guys who invited him to Brazil with them, when they came to bail him out, they were like, how are you going to put this guy in jail? It's Sam Walton. He's a billionaire. He's a famous, not famous, but he's a influential person. You can't do that. You shouldn't have done this. This is outrageous. The cops were saying, like, people thought he was crazy. This guy is sitting here looking at the floor and crawling on the ground and stuff. And then they asked Sam, like, Sam, what's that about? He just said, I was just measuring the floor to see if these spaces of aisles, kind of meant something or helped with the business. And I wanted to try it out for my business, just kind of study it. And these guys are floored. That's true humility at its finest. Knowing that you don't have all the answers, always trying to improve yourself, knowing that you're not the best. Because at this point, Sam, he could have been cocky as hell. He made $1 billion, and everyone would have been, wouldn't be mad at all because he's Sam Walton. He's one of the most successful guys in American history. And if you're doing that type of activity as one of the most successful guys in history, that's humility, guys. If you're crawling on the floors trying to see what your competitors are doing when you're one of the best in the world, honestly, I don't know what more humility you can have, okay? And that's humility that Tai talks about. The humility of knowing that you don't know all the answers, and looking at other people and trying to improve yourself. Okay, that's the humility you need to be successful. Because a lot of people will say they're humble, but they're really not humble, are they? They're gonna if you tell them, okay, you should really try something, you should try this, you should try doing this, they'll just look at you like, oh, I know what I'm doing, I'm fine, I don't need your advice. Those people are humble. They may say they're humble, but they're really not. okay? Because they don't listen to advice. They don't look at what other people are doing and try to improve themselves. They don't read books. They think they have all the answers. And that's the opposite of humility, and that's not going to get you anywhere. Because if the billionaire Sam Walton is doing these things and he's looking for answers and he's, listening to advice, he's questioning people, even when he's a billionaire, what makes you think that you don't have to do that too? You have to be extra. You have to be twice as humble. You have to realize that you don't know anything, okay? And that's the type of humility that this lesson is mainly about. And as with Michael Jordan was known to be one of the most cocky people in basketball history. He would just trash talk you. He was supremely confident, okay? Supremely confident. And you need to be supremely confident as an athlete. That's all you have. It's a mental game, all right? Because everyone else is physically gifted as well, but it's a mental game. It's practice. It's your mentality. But Michael Jordan was cocky, but guess what? He was also humble at the same time. It's like a paradox. He was one of the most cockiest bastards in the game, some people would say, but he was humble. Because you want to know why he's humble? Because all his coaches, every coach that he's ever worked under, they said he was so coachable. They said he was one of the most coachable people they've ever coached, okay? And it's not a coincidence that Michael Jordan is one of the greatest players of all time, because he was so coachable, because he was so humble, because he knew he didn't know everything. He listened. He listened to people. He listened to how people would coach him, and he would implement what he learned in his game. That's humility, okay? Some people, when you're Michael Jordan's love, they'll be, oh, you don't need to listen to you. I'm Michael Jordan. But what got Michael Jordan to where he was in life was that humility he had, okay? And that's what we had to develop as well. The humility to say, you know what, we don't know all the answers. You know what, I don't know everything. Let me read this book to get some insight. Let me ask this guy for advice. Let me go find this mentor to help me get where I need to go. That's humility, guys, and that's what you need. That's what you need to be successful. And there's a reason why it's the third step, because the first step was awareness, deservability. The second was adaptability, and the third one is humility. All right. They all go in line in a way. Like, you first have to be aware of where you are, try to deserve what you want. Next, you adapt, because once you become aware, now you can adapt. Third, you become humble, because in the adaptation process, while you're trying to change lanes, and you have to seek advice because you don't know everything. You have to get in information. You have to get in new information because you're trying to adapt. Okay, you have to kind of take a different path, and to take a different path, you have to look for answers. You have to seek things out. And this is why everything is like kind of in line, the 6, 7 steps. It all makes sense, okay? It's not in random order, these lessons. They all make sense. So with this humility, you have to be very humble, okay, to be successful. You can be cocky, okay? You can be very cocky. That's fine. But you have to be humble at the same time. I know it's kind of weird for you, the way that works, but I get it. I perfectly get it. I'm kind of the same way. Like, when it comes to things that I know, a lot of people say I'm cocky. Well, I'm not really cocky. I'm just as confident as hell, because I know, like, I've done the research and I've thought things out very clearly. Okay, and when I think things out very clearly, I'm very, like, unmovable when it comes to arguing with me. Like, I'll be unmovable, and sometimes people will say I come off as cocky, but I'm really not cocky at all. I don't think I'm better than other people. I just know what I know. Okay, and that's the same thing for Michael Jordan. When he's on basketball court, he knows what he knows. He put in the time, he put in the effort, and so therefore he has the right to be cocky. But behind the scenes, when he's learning, I guarantee he's not cocky. He's listening to his coaches. Okay, he's trying to improve his game. Same thing with me. Like, behind the scenes, I'm not cocky as people will say I come off as. I just do my research. I like to learn new things. I'm always listening to people who've done what I want to do, and I'm just soaking all their advice in, because I know I don't have all the answers. But the people who say I'm cocky, it's funny that when you tell them advice, when you try to give them advice, they don't accept it. They're just like, oh, well, that doesn't make sense to me. I'm not going to do it. They just don't go with the advice that you're giving them, but they're the ones who's calling you cocky. And it's crazy. It's very, very crazy. But you can be cocky as well, but have humility, okay? Have humility in the things that you're learning. Because some people can say they're humble, but they're not really humble if they don't have the open ear, if they don't have the open mind to listen to people and test ideas out. I'm not saying test every idea out. Just test the ones from people who are experts, people who make sense. Seek them out. Seek out advice, because you don't know everything, Okay, don't be like these people who say, "Oh, I'm humble," but what are they doing to be humble? And Tai even talks about in this lesson how you can tell you're humble. You know, what books are you reading? What seminars are you going to? What mentors are you seeking out? That's how you know that you're humble, because you know like that you don't know anything, and that's why you're seeking these things out. You know that you're clueless. That's why you're seeking out this information. And that's humility, guys. That's humility. That's the humility that you want. That's the humility that's going to take you places, because that's going to get you the knowledge, the expertise, the insight that you need. Okay? It's no surprise that Sam Walton became a billionaire because of this attitude. And it's no surprise that Michael Jordan also became a millionaire because of this this attitude as well. He's one of the first people to become a billionaire, one of the first athletes, to become a billionaire, basketball players, And why is that? Because, obviously it's not all because of the humility, but it ties to the humility because he was humble enough to listen to people and become one of the best players of all time. And when you become one of the best players of all time in a game, it's very easy for endorsements to want to give you billions of dollars, okay? But anyway, guys, that's the lesson in a nutshell. Humility, very, very important, very, very important to be humble, guys. All right, but anyway, that's it for this overview. I hope you guys got value out of it. I hope you guys got a little better idea of what is inside the third lesson of the 6-7 steps. This is it for me today, and I'll see you guys on the next one or the next video I put out. But anyway, thanks so much for watching, and until next time, bye.